Imperial Tropicals here. So sorry I'm a little bit late today. I was trying to start at noon, but just, every day seems to have a new set of challenges. So got kind of busy. So here I am, 12:30 or so. But hope everybody's doing good. Thank God it's Friday. We haven't been live the last couple weeks with the Fun Friday updates, but today I had a little bit of time, so I wanted to show you guys some of the new fish that we've been having available and updates on the 600-gallon tank, which I'll start with that first. So we moved the gold gar out of the tank and we set this up as a frontosa tank right now. So, hey, what's up, David? So these came from a local customer of ours that was moving, and he had a beautiful group of frontosas that we, told him we would purchase from him and provide a good home from them. We did put a couple of the true Angelicus synodontus in the tank just for some bottom cleaners. Not sure what else we're going to add to the tank right now. I can't add too much because the frontosas are kind of big. So at some point I'm gonna probably find a Tanganyikan species that could go with them that the frontosas will not eat. So pretty excited about that. I originally wanted to do this tank as a Tanganyikan tank, and it just so happened that we got a breeding group of some fronts that we're going to keep in this tank. So on the South American tank, we still have the Savini. We did take the peacock bass out. We did put a small group of the Tropheus damsels, the Madagascar, because this is a fish that we don't currently breed here at Imperial Tropicals, and I needed a place to grow them up. So I decided to grow them up in this tank, and they've been doing fine. Also, we got Juraparis. We got, I believe it's a reverse trio of Juraparis in there, but I'm hoping, at some point the Juraparis will start breeding. So excited about that tank. This tank, we still just have cardinals and a few corridors in there, but at some point we're going to be adding, some more peaceful South American fish that could go together. We did add some juvenile wild type angels to the tank to grow up with them. At some point though, they're probably going to have to be taken out once they get big enough to go after the cardinals, but we still got some time before that happens. So we're going to use those big tanks as grow outs and future breeding projects. I did want to show, oh yeah, by the way, if you want to see fish, go ahead and put in the comments which fish you're wanting to see, and that way I could go around and show you guys, specific fish that you're wanting to see. So if you wait towards the end, I might not have time to go back and show them to you. Some of the new arrivals, we have the Nickel's Eye right here, which is a West African. These guys, we're still holding on to them before they go up, but they're very close to going up on the site. We just want to make sure that they're doing good. A lot of problems that we've had with bringing these guys in from a local breeder is that they are very, very aggressive with each other. So we're making sure that the fish are very healthy and everything's good. They're not getting beat up. What else do we have here? So we've got some electric blue Jack Dempsey's in. Now these guys have been in for about 2 weeks now, and we have not started selling them yet. We're not having any losses. They're eating very well, but we noticed that a few of them are getting dark. If you can see those in the back there, and that's usually a sign of something going on with the fish internally. So just we are treating these guys with metronidazole just to make sure that when we do start sending them out, you guys don't have issues with them. So but they're looking nicely. I mean, there's only a few of them in there that we're concerned about, but we're keeping an eye on those guys. This is a new fish that we got in, and this is the Roquel severum, the true red shoulder. So you guys might know that we do sell a red shoulder severum, and they are a very nice fish, but they are not the true Roquel species. So right now we are sending pictures and doing research to make sure that these are the true red shoulder severum, but they are very, very nice. So I'm excited to have these guys in. You can see some of those, even at this size, already have like a really nice red cheek on them. And then we've got the adults up here, which one's hiding in the cave right there. Here's another one that is bigger, and you can see that they already have really, really nice markings on them. So it won't be long. I'd say by next week we should have a positive identification. So if you guys are severum experts, then you know that the true red shoulder severum is very rare in the hobby, the Roquel species. So I'm hoping, we purchased them from a very good breeder that he felt like they were the true red shoulder strain that he purchased when he started growing them out for breeders, and I think he's right. I think it is the true one that is very hard to come by because they're not being bred in the hobby very often. So you guys that like Oscars, we got some albino Oscars. These guys should be going up by the end of the day. Those guys have been very healthy. We also brought in some Robertsoni. Those guys are looking really nice. These guys get very big and aggressive, so be prepared if you're keeping Central American fish. Make sure you do your research on them because they some of them do get big and nasty, kind of like the Dovii, to where you don't want to have peaceful cichlids in the tank that those big aggressive cichlids will kill. So we got some black emperor tetras. We actually brought these in probably about 2 months ago, but they were not looking really, really nice. Like, they were stressed out, and the holding tanks in here, they weren't really recovering as well as we felt like they should be recovering. So we took them, moved them down to the breeding area, and grew them up bigger and a bigger holding tank, and those guys are looking a lot better. So we just recently brought them up here. So those guys are going to be going up any day now. Let's see what else. Oh, we got in quite a bit of Tanganyikans. I'm going to try to get those guys up by the end of the day, I'd like. Some of them we're going to need pictures for, but and some of these are already up, like the Juliachromis ornatus. Those guys are up. We've got more brevis in, so you guys that like the shell dwellers, these are a very easy Neolampus species to keep, and the brevis are a lot of fun. So we don't have shells in the tank, we just got PVC pipes because those guys will go in the tank and are in the shells, and it's almost impossible to get them out of the shell. So, and then frontosas, we got the Burundi types available. Those guys are looking really nice, real popular. If you don't know already, the frontosas do better in groups. So don't buy just one of them to keep by himself, because they are a very social fish that they do a lot better with a group of frontosa, preferably 5 or more, and then you have to, don't put these in with peacocks and haps or mabunas. You can see where some people say, oh yeah, you could do that, but you're not going to have a happy frontosa by putting him in there with Malawi fish. So the loopies, we just got some more. These are out of our breeding stock. Those guys are looking really nice. So we've really expanded on the Tanganyikan. So we're breeding a lot of our own now. This is the Nabdanis. These are some that we imported in from Germany last year, and these are our offspring now. So those guys are back up. We got the red chimbas. These are from our stock. If you like Tropheus, these are really beautiful Tropheus. We did get some Preciceps in. This is the red fins. These are F1s. And, you know, don't ask for like sexing of these guys because they are not possible to be sexed. And then just be patient because it takes forever to grow these guys up to maturity. We have the Niger Pinus right here. Those guys came in recently from a friend of ours that breeds them locally. Those guys are nice. The Icolas, these guys, we're just waiting to get a picture of them to get them up on the site. We got some firecrackers. Those guys have been going out really fast. The Tropheus also do better in groups. So, you know, if you're going to order Tropheus, make sure you do your research because they do much, much better when they're in groups. All right? And they are not peaceful fish, so you really can't add them with fish that are not at least equally aggressive. Most of the time, I just recommend keeping them by themselves because there's really, you know, you have a group of 10 Tropheus in a tank. It's a spectacular looking tank with a lot of excitement. So we got some Nicambis in, some smaller sizes there. We also have the Cautopunctus, and those are from our own stock. Those guys are looking good. So lots of new Tanganyikans. We got some Firefin from Preciceps. Those guys are going up. Hopefully by the end of the day, they're doing really well. We got the Ventralis red caps. I think those guys just went in recently. Multipunctatus, Neolampologus below that. We have some Folia. And of course the Tropheus du Boises. We got 2 tanks of those guys. Those guys are always really popular. Albino Sunshines. Those guys are looking really nice. All right, I'm gonna go through these questions. I just seen Dan Coates ask a question. So we did get some Nicoguensis in, Dan. So I got 2 tanks of them. I'm going to walk through and try to find what tank those went in. I know they're going to be in the south and central section, so just bear with me while I walk through. Everybody's at lunch right now, so we got 2 batches in from 2 different breeders. I know we haven't carried the Nicoguensis in a while, so I wanted to. There's the red rainbows. Those guys are looking really nice. And we also got a lot of new rainbows in from our breeders, so we're excited. It's been a long breeding season for us right now. Like it seems like it takes forever to grow these fish up to a selling size. Let me see. What's this? All right, I know where another batch is, so let's go up here. I know we got 2 tanks of Nicks, and they should be going up too, Dan, by the end of the day. So we've been doing inventory today, so I know I walked by some Nicoguensis earlier. All right, there's some smaller ones right here. Actually, I got 2 tanks of them. I got this size, they're both right here. There's the smaller ones. These are like, I'd say they're like 2 to 2.5 inches. And then I've got the bigger ones. Where are the bigger ones? Nicoguensis. Oh, right here. All right. So excited to have these finally back in stock because they've been out for a while. If you do not see them up on the site by the end of the day, Dan, you can shoot us an email too. You can shoot us an email right now and they'll go ahead and, because I know they're ready for sale. So what else we got? Oh, the guppies. We got a bunch of new strains of guppies in. So we finally got guppies that I'm happy about. You know, we used to breed a lot of guppies in-house, high quality show strains, and then probably been about, I don't know, 8-10 years ago, we had stopped breeding the guppies and focused more on cichlids. So a lot of those strains that we used to have were lost, and then we finally have a local breeder here that had imported some nice strains from Germany and the Czech Republic. And so we have some really nice show strains that are being bred locally here in Florida that we're excited about. I don't know how well these guys are going to show up on the camera, but they are stunning. This is the red Dumbo ear guppies. So I'm excited to have some fancy guppies back in stock compared to the, you know, the Asian strains that are just kind of what you see in Petco and PetSmart and have a lot of health issues. So these are the 24 karat gold guppies. So super excited about having those in. Kendis is asking about Snow White bushy nose. So no, those are relatively new still. I mean, I see them on, you know, some of the friends that I have. They are breeding on. The price that they're getting for those Snow Whites are just astronomical. I mean, I'm seeing them go for like, you know, $100 each for juveniles. I do think that price will come down, especially once some of the, you know, bigger breeders start breeding them. But right now we do not have them. But it is one on our list to get in the future. I just haven't pulled the trigger on ordering any Snow White bushy nose in. I wanted to see kind of what the strain does over time. A lot of what I see is not that good of a strain of the Snow White. So I think genetically they're going to have to be line bred for a little bit longer to get that albino look out of the fish, because from a lot of what I've seen is that some of them have really pronounced white, you know, bushy nose, and then some of them are not so white. So there's some more. This is the red mosaic, and what's cool is this is a strain, the red mosaic, that I used to breed a long time ago, and it was one of my favorite back then because even the females are just really, really colorful. I mean, you know, you got the females with just as nice of a fan as the males do. I got my strain originally from Pete Mang, Lots of Fish, up in New York, and he's always had phenomenal fish and really nice strains of guppies and all types, you know. So glad to have that red mosaic back. So I'm gonna start from the bottom. Jerry's asking about white lips. So I know we have had white lips in recently, but I want to say that we took them down to the greenhouse because they were thrashing each other up here. I'm gonna walk through. So here's the tank. Yeah, so we ended up, that was the Madoka white lips, and they ended up moving them to a greenhouse because even in the 75-gallon tank for the bigger ones, they were just relentless on fighting with each other. So so I don't have any Madokas inside to look at, but you know, one thing you can rest assured is that the Madoka strain is a wild strain that comes from Lake Malawi, so you will not see a big difference in males in that strain. They all look phenomenal when they get big. I would just say be prepared for aggression because the Madokas seem to have very, very high aggression, a lot higher than like the Star Sapphires, like these guys. These are the smaller Star Sapphires. They don't seem to have near the high aggression like the Madoka white lips do. So, all right, what else we got? Dan Coates asking about Japanese rice fish. So we actually do have some in, Dan, that we've been, let me see, they're on this rack right here. And they're looking really, really nice. I think right now, when we brought them in, they didn't have much color. This is the blue Daisy's rice fish, and they look really nice. They look so nice that I'm thinking about keeping some back and breeding them ourselves because they're just really, really nice fish. If you see anything on the video today that I say is for sale, you could email us and we will make sure that we get you a invoice, even if they're not up on the website yet, because some of these, like when we brought them in, they were really small without much color, and we actually want to grow them up and make sure that they're very colorful before we start sending them out. I did see somebody ask about Tetras earlier, if we got any new ones. We got the red Serpes in, we got albino neon Tetras in. Those also will be going up really soon. What else did we get in recently on Tetras? Oh, somebody I seen posted that they ordered a group of lemons. So one of my favorite Tetras. I think they are very underrated because they are such spectacular schooling fish. So I really want to add some lemons to the 600-gallon show tank because they're just really, really nice fish. So the gold Tetras on the backside too, if you're looking for a nice Tetra, these are actually wild caught from Colombia, and I mean the video I'm sure does not do them justice. I mean they're really nice. One unique thing about the gold Tetra is that they and bred in captivity, they do not carry the gold coloration. So you get the gold coloration and the gold Tetra from a parasite that the fish gets in the wild, that gets inside the fish, and the parasite is what creates the gold coloration. So really unique backstory on the gold Tetras. Because I remember my friend Hans in Germany, I was telling him, hey, I want to breed the gold Tetras. He's like, no, don't breed the gold Tetras. He's like, they won't be gold if you breed them because they have to be from the wild to carry that genetic. Excited about these guys. This is, we've got some grow outs in the big tank up there, but this is the red shoulder Macapura. So this is a wild type angel that is bred locally that reminds me very, very much so of an Ultim with the body, but then it also gets the bright red head on them. So really excited that these are now available. So if you're looking for a really nice angelfish, these guys do get big, so be prepared for that. But that's going to be spectacular fish. That's one reason I put a small group in our grow out tank in the 600 to grow some up to bigger size so I could get some photographs. We did add some gouramis. We've got the pearl gouramis. Those guys are up on the site. Those are really nice. We got the moonlight gouramis. Those guys are doing really well. Hadn't seen those around for years, so I'm glad that we're getting some of the older strains that haven't been in the hobby for a long time available. Let's go down here. Brian Ridley's asking, do you have any Camry yellow or blue OB peacocks? So our OBs do have blue in them. A lot of them do have red also, but I do not have a strain of OB peacocks that throw just blue. I think they call them the blueberry strain. But if you order an OB peacock and you ask one for it to be blue, then I think they could probably accommodate you on that. So just kind of communicate with the crew through email about your request for an OB peacock that's more of the blueberry coloration. I wanted to show you these guys. This is the Aves Creek strain of Bozemanii, and these are coming from our own production. So we're breeding the Aves Creek. We also have the Lake Uter, and I can't tell you how popular those are. I mean, like as soon as we bring a batch in that's ready for sale, those guys just sell out very, very quickly. I'm very excited to be breeding location types of the Bozemanii. Credit to Gary Lane, the godfather of Rainbowfish in the U.S. He did a phenomenal job getting these fish from the wild, breeding them, and then spreading them out through the hobby. So a lot of these strains that you're seeing actually originated from Gary Lane. Even the price eye rainbows right here, I want to say originally came from Gary Lane. So we got the Upper River, Catherine River, the blackfin rainbow. Very, very nice rainbow. One of the few that has like really bright turquoise to them. Oh, you on there? And then the Cali Bairu. That's also a very nice one. The Cali Bairu is, I have a love-hate relationship with the Cali Bairu because in my breeding room, I see just how beautiful they are, but for some reason in a tank, they just never want to color up, you know, like they do in a tank, in a vat room, a greenhouse. So we got the Affinis Melatinia Pagui. That's another new rainbow. So excited about those. What else? We got the Cichlids rainbow, which is technically not a rainbow. My stabilizer is acting kind of funky. Alex Sean, hey, I want you to send us an email because I've got those Tropheus ready. So before, I wouldn't let them list them until I reached out to you because I know you wanted a group of them. So send us an email. So, and we'll work those up and get those to you. And my stabilizer's going out on me, so I don't know if the battery's weak or what. What other new rainbows did we get? We got some bigger dwarf neons in. Those guys are looking really good. I actually got 2 tanks of those. Those guys are just arrived, so they're going to be kind of held in quarantine for a couple days. We got a new batch of Doherty eyes in. Spectacular rainbows. Lots of rainbows. So sorry about that. I'm going to turn the stabilizer off, turn it back on, see if that corrects the issue. No, it's not. It's still kind of shaky. So I'm going to set this up on a tank of fish, and then I'm going to go through these questions. I don't think I'm going to be able to walk around and show you guys any more fish because my camera is really shaking up. So we do have the Rudy Island. I'm pretty sure we got a batch that we've been growing up. So whenever, Len, whenever you get ready, shoot us an email. And they might not be on the site yet, but we'll make sure that we save some back for you. Because I know we did just bring in a batch of them, but they were kind of juvenile size, so we wanted to grow them up. I saw Jared taking pictures of them yesterday, so I know they're in the process of going up on the website. I'm going to set it up on this tank and try to just hold it steady for you. The whole thing stopped working, so. Alright, so let me see how I could do this. I'm going to try to hold it steady. Alright, then I'm going to go through some of these questions real quick. Having a little bit of camera issues, so. Alright. Canceled. Dan's asking about Jack Dempsey's. We did get some in last week, actually this week, and they should be going up on the website by next week. So, like I said, when we bring in new fish, we try to quarantine them. We've been actually out of Jack Dempsey's for a long, long time. We used to breed them in-house, and then there was a local breeder that was breeding them that we'd stopped breeding them, and then that local breeder ended up not breeding them, and it took me a while before I could find anybody else that had them. So now we do have another local guy that's breeding the Jack Dempsey's, and I know we got a batch in for a wholesale order, and then we brought some in for ourselves, so those guys should be going up really soon. Kenneth, you're right on the black substrate for rainbows to pop, and even the background, like that was one discussion we had when we built these racks and started putting these tanks in. Is, you know, at first I was going to go with the black background instead of blue, but then we found that, you know, blue's kind of like a in-between color that a dark colored fish doesn't get lost, you know, in the black background. But I do know that, you know, the black substrate makes a big difference. But problem is I got so many tanks that would need the black substrate. I mean, and you know, I've used to use that Tractor Supply, the black diamond substrate, and you know, I had pretty good success with that type of substrate. I did, you know, I keep up with you know, people that have it in their tank, and some of them say they think the fish do fine with it, and then some of them say no, that the fish never seem real happy with it. I don't know, Brian. My camera right now is my stabilizer stopped working, so if you want, I'll try to go live again next Friday and show you the OB peacocks. And if you know, if you want, you could also email us, and if the crew has time, they could go over there and snap a picture of them for you. So David is saying, asking about the boilie eye, the Candingo. I'm hoping to get them again, David. Right now, unfortunately, we don't have them as breeders, but I would like to get them in again because those guys were really good sellers. So I am working on that. I've got a guy local that is breeding them here in Florida, and I'm hoping to get a batch from him really soon. So Jeff Guest is asking about sunshine plecos. No, we don't have any sunshines. All the sunshines, they come from Brazil, from the wild, and the freight, the shipping, everything is just so outrageous, especially coming from Brazil, that we haven't brought in any sunshines. It's probably been about 4 months since we had any in. So I know we're going to be planning a Brazil order sometime this fall. Right now I'm waiting for an RO machine that I've ordered. Once that RO machine gets here, then we're going to bring in a Brazil order. We noticed that even though we're, you know, changing the pH in our water for the softness of the water, it's still not soft enough. So we've got a big RO machine that's on back order right now. So once we get that RO unit in, you're going to start seeing more South American fish available from us. Fishymon is asking about L46. We do have L46s, and I can't show them to you right now because my camera, if I move my camera, you guys are going to get dizzy because my stabilizer is not working. But they're really nice. I actually went and picked some out for a friend of mine in Miami. He's got a batch of them going out next week, so I went into the tank earlier today and checked them out. They're actually grown quite a bit since we brought the last batch in. They're more like, you know, closer to 2 inches. So, and doing really, really well. Robert Trevino's asking about discus. No discus right now, but when we do get the RO unit set up, we are going to start carrying discus. That's another fish that we haven't been able to carry because our water parameters are not really set up here for fish that require a, you know, considerably softer water parameters, you know. So Thomas Medina is asking about Vejos Argentina or Phinia stratus. I know we're working on getting both of those in. I think I've got a lead on the Finstratus, so if you want, shoot us an email and they could probably give you updates on those. All right. John is asking about the Mallory Island. The site says you have a small male left. We do. Some of the juveniles are getting big enough that we're able to identify really nice males out of it. So I do know we're not getting very many males, but there are definitely some nice, you know, Mallory males coming up. But they're going to be more like 2.5 inches. So. All right, getting through these 80s Monsters kids. I'm asking if he has any Bucrochromis nodos. No, we actually sold out of those, but that's another one that's we're in the process of getting another batch in. Susan's asking about the Neolampologus Tretcephalus. I really love that fish. We actually brought some in and we saved some back for breeders, and the male, they're in a 40-gallon tank, and the male actually killed the females. Like, I was really disappointed with that. So I am going to next time we bring some in, I'm going to save some back, and I'm going to keep them in a 75 instead of a 40. But really nice. It's like a mini frontosa. So all right, I'm trying to get through these. JM's asking, he's got a 700-liter Pentagon tank, Synodontis petricolus, Natatus catfish, 10 Siamese algae eaters, 12 tiger barbs, and a Mississippi map turtle. Any suggestions for more? Scared these guys. I would definitely join our Facebook group. All right, it's called Imperial Tropicals Fish Keepers, and post up a picture of your tank. And I mean, there's definitely a lot of fish that we carry that could go with them, but post up in the group, or you could send us an email. But when you do that, send us a picture of tank so we kind of see the setup. And you know, but if you do have Facebook, I highly recommend joining the group. A lot of the people on this live feed are in the group, and everybody's very, very helpful with, you know, adding new fish to the tank. But we definitely need to know, you know, see a picture of the tank and more of details about the tank. So all right, guys, I think I'm done with the questions. JM from London's locking in. Oh, okay, so you're not even in the US, but still join the group. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're overseas or not. Might not be able to ship them to you, but at least they could, you know, give you good info about keeping your tank. So, all right, everyone. Sorry about being late today, and you know, my trouble with my gimbal. So, have a good weekend. I'm gonna try to go live again next Friday, so hopefully I'll be a little bit more prepared. So, have a good weekend. Stay safe, and we will talk at you next time. Thank you.